Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. In this one, we have a new Mega Gengar EX and Mega Diancie officially revealed for Japan's decks in September. We will also be getting these cards in October as well as November, so plenty of chances to get a hold of these cards. So yeah, as posted months ago, the two 60 card decks were released in Japan on September 5th. They will cost 1,800 yen each, and each deck will also feature an illustration rare of Haunter or Meloetta, depending on which one you get. So yeah, Diancie is once again Psychic types, RIP Fairy types, but at the very least, Diancie is a pretty cool Pokemon. Yeah, the art rares are very nice. I would definitely say I prefer Haunter when it comes to the two, but overall, shouldn't make too much of an impact just because, they're, well, like I would say Haunter is a bit more useful than Meloetta. Like we'll get to the translation for Meloetta later on, but I would say Haunter is more likely to see play as like a pre-evolution than Meloetta is. But yeah, as for the new translations themselves, we have a new Ghastly with 70 HP, which is, I guess, a bit more than what I would have expected from, a floating ball of gas. So, like, that's kind of nice to see that they're giving Ghastly the 70 HP treatment. So that's cool. Get to use Poffin for it. So yeah, the new Haunter, again, like nothing crazy in the attack, but it is nice that we have an illustration rare to bling out the deck. Then we get to Mega Gengar EX, which I do think is the best Mega of the two, like the better Mega. The artwork is also really nice, which helps out a lot. But yeah, it has the very powerful ability Shadow Hiding, which says whenever one of your dark Pokemon is knocked out, which I'm assuming also includes Mega Gengar, by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon EX, your opponent takes one less prize card, and this effect does not stack, because otherwise that would just be horrendous. But yeah. So one less prize card is pretty meaningful. Like you're essentially turning all your megas into two prize Pokemon. You're turning all your two prize Pokemon into one prize Pokemon, and you're turning all your one prize Pokemon into zero prize Pokemon. So it is effectively a black market prison spiritual reprint, which was a very good stadium back in the day, like back in the Sun and Moon era. That was a very good card. So yeah, I'm expecting this to be a very, very strong ability. Like Pheasantipity is suddenly a single prize Pokemon that can just chill out on the bench. As for like Mega Gengar's proper attack, like Void Gate or Void Gale, as it's been known as here, I think it will be Void Gate in the proper translation, but Void Gale for now. 2 Dark Energy does 230 damage, which is not a lot, but it's still only like a few modifiers away from getting rid of like some of the more lower HP Pokemon, like some of the Stage 1 EXs and things. So, like with some Monkey Dory shenanigans, I'm sure you could get there. And you get to move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. So, that's quite nice for conserving energy. It also has a retreat cost of 2. So, it means you will just be able to put this on the bench with an air balloon and it'll be fine. And it has 350 HP. So, if you really wanted to, you could put a Hero's Cape on Mega Gengar and it would have 450 HP and only give up 2 prize cards, which is, yeah, that's kind of crazy. But you could also just give it a legacy energy. And then at that point, you're only giving up 1 prize and you have 350 HP, which honestly sounds even more appealing. So, and that can't be like tool scrappered away either. So, yeah, kind of crazy. I think Mega Gengar, Legacy Energy, Monkey Dory could be its own little deck. As for like any other partners, I'm not really sure about. Like maybe Roaring Moon EX, and you can like slowly build one up with this attack, and like maybe you also run like a couple of copies of Sada. You could create some like really spicy rogue decks with this. But yeah, the ability is impressive. Like, oh yeah, not Mega Charizard, but Charizard EX, like the Terra type. That's another option for this. Maybe even Grimmsnarl. Turn Grimmsnarl into a single prize Pokemon because why not? Like all these crazy efficient combos you can do. Grimmsnarl might be a scary one actually because yeah, Grimmsnarl's very efficient, can charge up energy to itself as well. So yeah, that honestly seems like quite a scary combo. I'm really excited for this one. Like, it's definitely really cool. Like, I'm kind of excited for Diancie as well, but I think Mega Gengar is definitely the more obviously more powerful one of the two. I would say. Like, the weakness to fighting is a bit rough if Mega Lucario really takes off in a big way. And your ability means that if you take any damage from like Monkey Dory or Frostlass, then like if you get killed by Monkey Dory or Frostlass, I should say, then the effect won't trigger and your opponent will get the prize cards normally. So you do have to be scared of that, I guess. But not every deck is playing Frostlass, not every deck is playing Monkey Dory, so should be fine for the most part. And no, there's not like that many single prize attackers in stand right now that are good. So yeah, a very powerful ability. Attack is solid, a lot of HP, good retreat cost. Yeah, I definitely really like Mega Gengar EX. Next up is we have Murkrow, which I will mention just because I do like the artwork a lot. I think it's really cool. Honchkrow is a bit on the weaker side, but if we ever get any like good dark type energy acceleration, then 120 snipe is not bad on a stage 1 single prizer, but probably need some good energy acceleration to see play. Then we get to a new Sableye. Angry Claw does 20 damage, and if you have a stage 2 dark Pokemon in play, this attack does 70 more damage. I know these are theme decks, but this was an attack in the black and white era. Same damage and everything. So that should give you an idea of like how much crazy power creep we've had. We also had a Mega Gengar in the XY era after that card, and that had 220 HP or something. So the fact that you can do 90 for 1 NG when Pokemon have 350 HP, like things are getting kind of crazy with the power creep and stuff. But yeah, Sableye exists. Then we have Punk Helmet, an interesting tool card. If a dark Pokemon this tool is attached to is in the active spot, and it's damaged, then put 4 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. So it's basically Vengeful Punch, but Vengeful Punch only triggers when you're 1 KO'd, or like when you get KO'd, I guess. Sorry. So like Punk Helmet is more of a routine use, like you can use it more often with stuff. And with Mega Gengar, that does help out things a bit because 40 plus 30 takes you up to 270, which is a nice number. And then with Monkey Dory, you're already up to 300, and then at that point you could use like a Gravity Mountain or maybe 2 Monkey Dories, get some chip damage involved. So I don't think this tool card is actually that bad with Mega Gengar, or with like Roaring Moon or something. Like I definitely think this tool card is actually pretty good. So yeah, Punk Helmet, really cool. I'm surprised they didn't save the naming for something to do with like Team Yell, because that's often associated with like Obstagoon and Punk stuff and things like that. So I'm surprised they didn't save it for Grimmsnarl, but maybe they wanted to put it in the Grimmsnarl deck and realized that would be like a bit overkill or something. But yeah, Punk Helmet, pretty cool tool card, I would say. Then we've got Mega Diancie EX, so a basic Pokemon, 270 HP. So I do think a lot of the basic Pokemon that are Megas are like noticeably weaker just because they have considerably less HP and are giving up 3 prizes, which is a bit rough in this day and age. But it does have the ability Diamond Coat to help out with that. So this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks, really solid ability. And then Garland Ray, which is an interesting name, for 2 Psych Energy. Discard up to 2 energy from this Pokemon, and you do 120 damage for each energy card discarded in this way. So it reminds me a lot of Mewtwo EX, like Team Rocket's Mewtwo, which sees no play whatsoever. And Mewtwo can do 280, right? I know this is a bit more consistent because you can just use a Spathra and a very busted Psychic type item that we'll look at in just a second. But yeah, 240 for 2 energy, it's very easy to accelerate. Like Xatu TM Evolution will get you there very quickly. But 240 is just like not a lot of damage, really. Like maybe with some Crispin Monkey Dory shenanigans you can get there, but like I don't think overall this is like a great card or anything. I definitely think Mega Gengar wins here for like flavor and stuff. I expect this deck to like really sell out, but I don't think the Diancie one is that good. Like maybe as like an intro deck, or maybe we get some busted support for Megas and it can get like a huge HP buff, because the minus 30 is pretty good, but the attack just isn't really quite doing enough damage, I think, to warrant putting a 3 prize Pokemon on the board. But, I think Gengar gives you a lot more value for what it's offering. But yeah, that's Mega Diancie. Then we have a new Alcremie. Sadly, Alcremie has an attack that we've seen a million times recently in the TCG. 20 damage for each Pokemon you have in play. Boring, moving on. Then we have a Meloetta. Heal 120 damage for one of your benched Psychic Pokemon. So they're kind of assuming that your Diancie will be able to tank a hit, hopefully, with that ability. And then Meloetta can heal it. But of course, the problem with these strategies is your opponent can just boss around it. So whenever your opponent can do that, then, it's not going to happen every single time, of course, but it will happen more often than not. And it will happen when you least want it to as well. So yeah, it's a bit rough. The illustration rare is nice, but I don't think the card is very good. Then we have Wonder Patch. I don't know why they printed this. Attach a basic Psych Energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Psychic Pokemon. Why, of all the types in the TCG, why of all the types did Psychic types get more support? Like, it's not as if Gardevoir EX benefits from this, but like, it's just the fact that Psychic keep getting support. Like, they have the best stadium from the latest set, Mega Evolution. Like, that is easily hands down the best stadium. They have Mega Gardevoir EX. They already have a very good top tier deck. So I don't know why they need this as well. It is cool to see at the very least, because it will help some of the more I guess, niche psychic Pokemon that maybe don't want to run Gardevoir, or like don't have, or like maybe just don't have a deck space for it. Things like Jellicent with this could be pretty good, because now it just means Jellicent doesn't have to make room for Gardevoir, and you could play like a more disruptive Crushing Hammer's Xerasic build of Jellicent, which is cool, or like Banette EX. So there is like fun options for this. But like, why did psychic types get the support? You know, like I feel like metal types or even fire types could actually do with a bit more dedicated type support than this. But you know, it's a bit of a shame. I would have preferred if this was for fire types, just so we can like make Arcanine EX playable before it rotates. But yeah, Wonder Patch, a bit rough to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of this. Also, we're presumably be getting all these cards in our two Mega Battle decks releasing on October 24th. So these will be releasing before these actually get released in like a proper main set. So, you know, honestly, I don't know where you are at, you know, watching this video, but these are not like that expensive where I live, so that's pretty cool to see. I'll definitely try and get the Mega Gengar one. But yeah, however, our English cards may actually come from November's Phantasmal Flames set. In other words, our decks could primarily contain reprints, similar to the Marnie and Steven decks that featured reprints from Journey Together, which is what I'd imagine. Since the decks come out a few weeks before Phantasmal Flames, fans can play with the cards early. They're like future reprints, I guess. The only exceptions should be Haunter and Meloetta's illustration rares, which will likely be the deck's exclusive promos. So yeah, if you want the Haunter and Meloetta, you will have to like find these decks. But if not, then you know you can just get them from the main set, which is cool. So along with the cards from Inferno X, which should have its like main set reveal, I'm guessing within the next few weeks, we expect these cards to be printed in our Phantasmal Flame set in November. So that's like the next main set after Mega Evolution. The Phantasmal should be referring to Mega Gengar EX, while the Flames should be referring to Mega Charizard EX, which has already been confirmed for the set. So yeah, kind of crazy. We don't know what Mega Charizard will do. This is just the old Mega Charizard from the XY era, but yeah, I'm very excited to see what they reveal for these. I think this could be an amazing set, by the way. I'm really excited for Phantasmal Flames, but it's just a bit of a shame that Mega Diancie is kind of like letting the side down right now. But, you know, that's one less Mega to worry about, I guess. But yeah, that's it for the reveals. Let me know what you think down below, which has been your favorite of the two Mega Evolutions. And yeah, thank you for watching.